Anna, thank you very much for joining me today. I
Thank you
always
for
like to start from the easy questions.
Okay.
So, if you can tell me the hardest moment in your life.
Move to the UK.
Okay.
That was the hardest one.
Really? Why?
Sorry?
Why?
Why? Yeah, you leave behind your past life and you're traveling somewhere you don't know. You will going to be a foreigner, you know. You need to, you know, understand what are the what the people are doing, out there, and how you can just fit in, basically. And it's not easy to close the door behind you and suddenly you just walk up in another country
Mm.
and yeah, and try to excel into this environment and fit into this community. But what I'm talking about, it's not easy to leave your
100%.
home country and to be brave enough to start from scratch, because I had to. um, I was working when we were in Hungary. I was working for one of the ministries. So when we started our new life here in the UK, I started everything from the bottom, from scratch. And you need courage and boldness to do that. Yeah, so I would say that would be that was the hardest part in my life when I moved to the UK.
What would you say is your biggest life dream at the moment?
My biggest life dream is to build a company which provide me financial stability, where I don't feel that I'm working, because the work what I'm doing is so satisfying, and it makes me happy, and it feels more like, not a job, more like something which is, you're passionate about. I would say yes. And I would like to raise my child, in financial stability and make her happy, and that I can just afford, all those extra after school clubs, because those are so expensive, especially here in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's very material, but
Well,
honestly,
we're living in a
yeah,
very material world, so you know
yeah.
that is totally normal that that's your dream, and like it's a good dream to have. My question following up on that would be, what are you doing to achieve that dream?
I'm building my entertainment company,
Okay.
which means that our main focus is music, and mainly jazz music, but our genre is very wide, I would say. So, yeah, from classical music to jazz, DJs, all sort of music. But also we are working together with other artists, dancers, and magicians, sometimes with photographers. So what my company is doing, that I'm connecting top musicians with hotels, restaurants, private parties, corporate parties, sometimes weddings. So we are providing live entertainment for clients.
Okay, so you are in between the hotels, let's say restaurants, and the
Yes.
artists, which I think gets us to what is your background exactly?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, why I'm just laughed out loud. Yeah, my background is completely different what I've done in my career and what I'm doing now, because I have a military background.
Okay.
I have a master degree in international security and defense policy. This is what I've learned back in Hungary.
Where the idea came from? Why did you start the entertainment business?
Yeah, so the idea came from my husband. He is a musician, he's a jazz musician, bassist. And post-COVID situation,
Mm.
economic situation, I was working for other huge companies, and yeah, they thought it would be a good idea to restructure. And since then, I was struggling. I could find another positions, jobs here and there, but they were not the best. I always struggling with something, work conditions or other,
Problems.
things.
Yeah.
And last year, September, I've met someone who became a huge mentor for me. And she was running her own business. So I joined her, um, and learned a lot, mainly not about how to run your own business, but as a person, as an entrepreneur, how to behave. So she was a huge, yeah, role model for me, I would say. And then she closed down her own business and started something new. So in February, I thought it would be a good idea to start my own business. That was the main reason why I started my own company, because I felt like that I have no other choice. That was plan B. So I love all the stories of other people, who've been interviewed by the other reporters that, okay, yeah, that was my biggest dream. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always had this idea what I would like to, set up or make or sell or produce or whatever. And all these stories are so how
Grand.
can I say it? Yeah. And yeah, so it was a plan B, because I know setting up a company needs a lot of creativity, a lot of work,
So
type of person.
in the past 4 months, have you
Yep,
already had some down periods? Have you managed like
of course. Of course I had. Yes. I would say the toughest part is to reach out the proper people, that, okay, here is my service, here is my company. I know my service is excellent, but, convince them that this is excellent and they should, working with me. It's very hard to find the right person, talk with the right person, schedule a meeting, because everyone is so busy all the time.
yeah.
So yeah, I would say in just one word that, yeah, reaching out, the best contact is hard.
So how do you finding the best people to reach out to?
Mm, yeah, so since I've started, I realized that the online space is so crowded and it's very hard to outstand, or it's very expensive to outstand. And my best tactic is networking,
Okay.
because I would say going out, meeting people in person, that's a completely different,
Story. Yeah.
vibe and story. Yeah, so if I have the chance, I always go out and talk with people, sometimes in a networking event, sometimes in social clubs events, sometimes I just knock on the door and say, "Hi, I'm from Pink Peanuts." I would like to talk with someone who's responsible for the entertainment. And yeah, most of the cases, people are so welcoming, and they would like to listen and, listen to what my service is about, and they are happy to, yeah, connect.
What are the next like few priorities for you in the next, let's say, another 4 months to come? What do you want to focus on?
Yeah, so I would like to expand my connections and make sure that more people get to know with my brand and my services. And I would like to, settle a few um, gigs with venues and clients for the Christmas peak season. Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be a good achievement as a startup started in February, if my calendar would be, almost full for Christmas. And that would be also very good, because I can help to the musicians to have more work.
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
it's not just about me, because now we are talking about me and my business and about my brand. But don't forget to mention all those incredible talented people who are sometimes struggling with, finding job, finding a gig. And this is where I come in and help them, promote their new album, because beside trying to fix, gigs with venues, I'm managing a couple of artists, jazz band. I'm trying to put together a tour for them
Okay.
for next year.
So the hard part over here is finding the venues.
Yes, finding the venues, make the deal with them, and maintain, the partnership with them.
Have you started already partnering with some venues?
Yes, so we are in partnership here in London with a few venues and with a few catering companies.
What is your bigger vision for this business? How do you see it in that 5 years?
That here in London and in the UK, it's going to be a well-known brand, and a brand where our clients can rely on, and they know if they just collaborating with me, then the event is going to be 100% success, and everyone would love, the music what we provide, and they are satisfied with our services. Yeah, this is what I really would like to.
It's more than achievable, I think, no?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Consistency, high quality service, and a good relationship with event managers, head of events,
Yeah, partners. Yeah.
partners. Yeah, that's the key, I would say.
If you could ask anyone about anything to help you take your business to the next level, what would you ask for?
What my biggest wish is to get into, a supplier list where a client would choose us for their big event,
Do you
and
know how
from
to
that,
get to that kind of supplier list?
well, most of the people who are telling their stories regarding how they started and how it's being, feels like how feels like being an entrepreneur is it's a tiny little thing. It's luck. Luck is very important to be in the right place at the right time.
It's a big part of it, definitely. It's hard work,
Yeah.
it's consistency,
Yes.
and it's luck.
Yes.
I can 100% agree with that. You are a president of the world, you can change one thing. What would you focus on?
If we can change how we interact with each other as human beings, the communication between us to listen to each other, we can solve all the other problems what I mentioned. That's why we are here as humanity, because we are not listening to each other, we are arguing with each other, we think that we, are better than the other ones as a nation, as a, cultural society or whatever, a group, and we are always fighting with each other, which is useless because we all the same. And this is what we need to realize as humanity, as the human beings, that we are all the same. So we should collaborate, we should communicate with each other, and then we can solve the rest.
Anna, thank you very much for that conversation.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure.